Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and we are back at it yet again. We're going to be talking Jets today, man. We got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to be covering the Jets linebacker position. We're also going to talk about Marcus Maye, man. July 15th coming up. We're still waiting to see what's going on with the Jets, and hopefully they'll be able to get something done with him. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I am fired up. I'm fired up, all right? Listen, you can go on iTunes as well. You can check my show out there as well. The audio's there, too. Search The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. I'm on Blog Talk Radio as well, The Long Beach Joe Show. For those of you that want to catch the show live while I stream it, because I do stream it as well. For those of you that listen just to the audio portion, I also live stream the show, too. We have a great live stream set up over here. You can go to Long Beach Joe Jets. Again, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, give my videos a thumbs up. I do all kind of content over there as well. About the New York Jets. We also game on the channel, too. We have a lot of fun. We enjoy ourselves over here. So if you want to check out the live stream, you want to check out other content I do as well, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm on Twitter as well, YoungJ000. You can catch the show's page, too, on The Long Beach Joe. You know what I'm saying? We're everywhere. So please, check it out. So we got quite a bit to get into today. Man, so much going on with the Jets, so many questions, so many things we want to touch on and talk about with this roster that's changed quite a bit, you know, especially since we brought in our new staff, Robert Saleh, and new defensive coordinator, and, you know, all the things that we have going on. But before we get into that, as everyone knows, I'm a fan, big fan of New York Jets, but I'm from California, you know. I grew up on the West Coast, the best coast, you know. And this is, you know, this is where I call home. This is what it is. And even where I live, you know, I've been able to connect with other Jets fans. I've been able to sit back and have fun and watch games with my brothers and sisters in green. And, you know, I've been able to meet Jets fans from all across the country visiting, or even when I would go to games, I would go, you know, I've been to games in Texas and all kinds of things. And I've been able to meet fans that love the team just as much as I love the team, that love the team, that are, you know, just as much as people that are from, you know, New York or Jersey, you know. And I've had so much fun. And so it's always fun to connect with Jets fans from across the country. And so today I want to bring on Mr. Bob Gage from the Orange County Jets fan, and I want to talk to him about what his Jets fan club does and how much fun that they have together, and I want him to share some stories with us. So I want to welcome Mr. Bob Gage. Bob, I want to thank you for coming on today. How are you doing today, my friend?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you great, Bob.
Okay.
You great.
You know, I wasn't sure with Long Beach Joe if it was Long Beach, New York, or Long Beach, California. And I actually was assuming it was New York, but
oh, no.
You're out here on the West Coast with me, which is always good.
Yes, absolutely, man. It's always great. You know, again, the weather's good over here. We have such a great time. It's a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? Cali's a beautiful place. But it
is a beautiful place, yes.
Absolutely. And I want to get started with you, Bob, because I'm so excited to talk to you about your fandom and everything that, you know, you do that's connected with your fan club, and how you guys, you know, just cheer for the Jets, you know, every single day, every single time. But I want to start off by asking, what made you a fan of the New York Jets, my friend?
Well, that's a real good question, and I actually thought about giving you the best answer I could. First of all, even though I've been out in California for the better part of over 40 years, I grew up in Greenwich Village, and I'm old enough to remember Super Bowl III, so I go back to even before the Jets won the Super Bowl, and I think I became a fan. I was coming back from the 1965 World's Fair, and I think I was 5 or 6 years old at the time. I was with my aunt, It was the next to last day of the World's Fair. The Jets happened to have been playing a Saturday night game at Shea Stadium against the Oakland Raiders, which I've later verified on Pro Football Reference. But, you know, people that remember Shea Stadium, there were several areas from the subway platform where you had a glimpse of the field. And I can remember sitting there, seeing all these people watching what obviously looked like a game going on there. And, of course, I asked my aunt, I said, well, the the season's over. What's going on there? She goes, oh, that's the football team. That's the Jets. I'm like, oh, the Jets. How clever is that? So it goes back to there, but the reality is I grew up a Yankee fan. My dad was a big Yankee fan. You'd think I would root for the Giants, but the Jets were good when I was a kid. I liked the name. I liked the colors. I started going to Jets games in 1969, the year after they won the Super Bowl. I was actually at the playoff game against the Chiefs, where they lost 13-6. And from then on, I've been a diehard fan. In 72, my family decided to relocate to California, which the first thing I thought it was, oh, my God, I'm not going to be able to go to Jets games anymore. But we did find some solace in going down to San Diego when they've been playing down there. And kind of that's where a lot of this OC Jet fan thing started, I think. Joe, back in 2003, there was the Jets were playing the Chargers at Qualcomm Stadium. The game, I think they ended up winning something like 44-17. They're a big underdog in that game, and they just kicked the butt out of them. But we had a big tailgate party that we arranged through JetsInsider.com, a site started by a guy named Sean Deacon, who some of the people listeners may be familiar with. He organized it. About 20, 30 of us came there. And from there, we met a bunch of other Jets fans, and we decided to kind of organize to go to different bars throughout Southern California. We ended up, for the most part, going to a place in Long Beach called the Green Dog, which doesn't exist. The owner was a huge Jets fan.
Yes.
They had a whole room. Did you go to that bar?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Bob. Once you said that Green Dog, I said, oh, yes, I remember that. Yes, that's where I met a lot of other Jets fans as well, the Green Dog in Long Beach. But go ahead. You're telling a great, great story.
So, yeah, actually, it ran into a guy from my old neighborhood, believe it or not, down in the Village, which was very odd, who was there. But anyway, the bar no longer exists. So from then on, the group kind of took a different approach. Technology came up, and now we have shows like yours and Instagram and Facebook. So we've settled on a few different bars over the years. Right now, we're over at the Block of Orange at Dave & Buster's. Mario Leone, who actually runs the group, did a good job. They actually contacted him and knew we had a pretty strong group of anywhere from 20 to 30 Jet fans every week. So they offered us a deal to relocate from, I guess we were at Hooters in Costa Mesa at the time, over to the Block of Orange, which for those of you not geographically familiar with Southern California, we're really close to Angel Stadium. So we went there. They gave us our own room. We actually even get game cards, which is cool because a lot of people bring their kids. Kids don't always want to watch football, so they go off and play games while everyone watches the football. But essentially, it's been a group that's been together really going back to 1996, and we've had different forms over the years. And even right now, other than last year during the pandemic, win or lose, we get a decent crowd, and there's always new people showing up. OC Jet Fans has got a Facebook page and an Instagram page, so people find us. And, you know the deal. It's, we're out here on the West Coast. There's a lot of Niner, Raider, and Ram fans and everything, but we've got our own group because one thing you know, if you're from New York and you're a sports fan, you typically do not lose your allegiances if you relocate to any other parts of the country. And a lot of people from New York out here, all you got to do is go to a Yankee game at Angel Stadium. You can hear that. But even in San Diego when the Jets play, we always were well represented. And right now, all it takes is for us to have a pretty decent team, and we'll get everybody excited about the Jets again.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, Bob, when you brought up the Green Dog, I'll always talk to people about that. And people go, what are you talking about? Because the bar has closed. But that's where I met so many other Jets fans, in my local area. I was, constantly going there and just enjoying games, just chilling. And it was just so fun to have, fans that were just like myself that love the Jets, that love the green, being able to sit there and just cheer on the team with them. And, again, it's so great to hear about what you're doing with your fan club, out there in the OC. and how you folks are meeting up at the Dave & Buster's and having a great time. I'm looking in the chat right now. There's people, you know, that are in your local area that are saying, hey, I'm going out there, you know, to hang out with the OC Jets Club because I'm not that far from there. So it's always great, again, to hear about how you're connecting there. Now, you touched on it a little bit as well. My next question for you, when you talked about, you know, the Niners fans and the Raiders fans and the Chargers fans, can you please break down to people what it's like being a Jet fan in your local area? What is it like being around all these Raiders fans that are so cocky, and even these Niners fans that are just so full of themselves constantly? Because I get it all the time when I'm wearing my Jets jersey. People are trying to, you know, talk to me and tell me how, you know, this team's better than my team and that team's better than my team. Tell me what it's like in your local area being a fan.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I've always looked at being a Jets fan. It's kind of like it's a secret society. You know, I mean, I run into a lot of people that are not from New York that are Jets fans, which I always thought was quite interesting because, you know, the Jets are not the Yankees. You know, the Yankees have a national following. You go to Angel Stadium when the Yankees are playing, you'll run into a guy. Yeah, maybe that guy's from Jersey. You know, maybe he's from Milwaukee. You know, you don't know. But yeah. Overall, you know, because we haven't had football here for 20 years, I would say that you know, the fans have been always split up in Southern California. You know, the Raider fans established a fan base in the 80s when they moved here, but then they left. There's still people that root for the Raiders, but honestly, I think most of those people just like the jerseys and the logo. You know, they're not real football fans. The Niners have a lot of fans, maybe as many as the Raider fans. And, of course, the Rams have always been here, you know, for many, many years. And actually, quite honestly, I actually like the Rams a little bit as a local team. Not that I'm a Rams fan, but my wife is, and that sort of thing. So, you know, we like to go to games just to see football. But with the Jets, if the Jets really good, like really good, and were you know, the way the Patriots got good, or the way the Warriors got good in basketball overnight, you would see a lot of people root for them because A, the nickname is cool, the colors have always been cool, New York is a cool place, and they do have a pretty good history. So, you know, overall, we stand our own. You know, I'll wear my Jets gear. Most people don't say anything to me. I mean, when we're traveling, going to the game, we always are well represented, and as long as we're well behaved, everything works out.
Yeah. I hear you there, Bob. Now, listen, we talked about your club. You know, everything that you folks are doing there. But I want to talk to you just a little bit about this team, man, because let me tell you something. There's been quite a bit of changes made to this roster. We all know we've got a new head coach. Our general manager, Joe Douglas, is constantly moving and shaking and making things happen. Give me your thoughts about this past draft. What is your favorite player from this past draft that's been brought into the New York Jets roster?
Elijah Moore, the wide receiver. It's been a while since we really had a top-flight wide receiver like that. And if you look at the film of this kid at Ole Miss, he's just special. So they were really lucky they got him. You know, I'm going to be patient. You know, I've been with the Jets a long time. Again, I remember them winning. I'm one of the few people. I think I'm the only person in our group that remembers them winning the Super Bowl. I was 11 at the time. But I'm going to be patient with Joe. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they're building the team from the ground up, from the inside out. The Tannenbaum regime tried to do it with free agents. Hey, it almost worked, but it didn't work. Now let's get some people in there that are good football people with a good pedigree, with a good resume. I'm going to be patient. I like the draft. As far as Zach Wilson goes, I mean, I really don't know. He looks like he can wing the ball, but it's impossible to know how these people are going to turn out. I'm just going to trust the process. I'm going to trust Joe Douglas. And, I'm optimistic every year. There's no reason to be pessimistic for any team. Any team can make the playoffs every year, any team in the league. The turnover in the NFL is just that. And I've seen teams in the past do this. Other Jet teams have gone into the season looking like they weren't going to be very good. The 2006 team comes to mind with Chad Pennington, where they were supposed to be pretty bad. They ended up winning, I think, 11 games, and ended up losing a wild card game. So, you know, I like what they're doing. I know you're going to talk about the linebackers later, and I'm going to listen. CJ Mosely played, one half of the game really well and hasn't played since. He'll be back. I'm just optimistic that they've got young people and they've got a front office that finally looks like they've got a plan and looks like they finally know what they're doing.
Yeah. And so my final question for you, Bob, because you're really bringing the fire so far, is what are your thoughts about some of the free agency moves? Corey Davis, Carl Lawson. What do you think about some of the guys that we signed in the offseason to come in and really help booster and better this roster?
I like what they did. And what Joe Douglas does is he builds depth through free agency. He doesn't go out and get the stars. Corey Davis, a good wide receiver, not the most flashiest. So that's their approach, and I'll buy into that right now, is that the free agency they signed were all good players, not break the bank, I regret giving this guy money 3 years from now players. You follow me on that, on how they're looking at that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree because, like you said as well, Corey Davis, great wide receiver, but he's not, like you said, Joe Douglas is not drastically overspending because that's what we've seen in the past. Mike McCagnon was ridiculous with that. We saw contracts like the one we gave Tremaine Johnson haunt us for years. Other guys that we signed, even the Le'Veon Bell signing, and I mean, I loved Le'Veon Bell, but when you looked at the fit with the coaching, there was just major issues there that could have been avoided had we had a better general manager. We're not even talking about the horrific drafting that Mike McCagnon was doing as well, pretty much busting out a bunch of, mid-rounds of draft. Honestly, he busted out a whole draft, his first draft when he first got here. Those guys were gone within, 2 years, 3 years, of being here. So we never really got any from those drafts. So, yeah, I completely agree with you, Bob, man. You really brought the fire there. So before I let you go, man, go ahead and give my audience, all of your tags, all your social media, tags where they can find you folks, and give them the address again of where you folks hang out and watch the games together so that if anyone is in your local area, they'll be able to come by and be able to chill with you people.
Yeah, OC Jet fans, there's an Instagram page, there's a Facebook page, pretty easy to find. The people have found us without, like the radio show you have. So, and people just look and they show. We had a guy show up from Atlanta one time. He says, "Hey, I'm here on business. I wanted to find out if there's anywhere to watch the Jets, and boom, I found you guys." And he ended up in a photo with us, so that was all cool. Well, OC Jet fans, again, we're at the Block of Orange, which, again, is near Angel Stadium in Orange County, California. It is Dave & Buster's. We are there for every Jets game. Last year, of course, was a completely different scenario. I actually got Sunday ticket last year and didn't leave the house. But this year we'll be back out again. We do the Jets chant. I actually lead the Jets chant. I met Fireman Ed Anzalone, I don't know, about 10 years ago at one of the tailgate parties back east, and got a chance to talk with him a little bit. And at the end of the game, when we win, we get together and we do what all the players do. We put our hands together and we go, "And the home of the Jets." So it's a lot of fun. It's a good group. Come on out. There's all the games going on, too. So, I mean, we bring friends in that aren't Jets fans. Hey, they can watch their game on the other TV. Bring your kids. You'll get a game card. You can play over in the gaming room. And, hopefully this year I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I'm also looking forward. I think I'm going to get back in December and see the Eagles game this year. I usually go back once a year to see a game. And, of course, last year nobody saw any games.
Yeah. Last year it was, all the things that we had going on, it was really tough. But listen, Bob, I want to thank you again for coming on, man. It was phenomenal to speak with you. You guys out there in the OC, you guys are doing your thing, saluting your green, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Just hearing about people coming together, no matter where they're from, or even, like you said, but guys coming from out of town that are, running into the Jets club as well, be able to sit down with fellow fans of this football team, be able to cheer them on together. I absolutely love that, Bob. So, listen, I want to thank you for coming on, Bob, and I want you to have a good night, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the show. I haven't done sports radio in a while, so it's always fun to get on the radio, and it's more fun to talk about my favorite team, the New York Jets.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have a good one, Bob.
Take care, bud.
All right. Listen, Bob coming on, if you're out there in the OC, or if you're just, on business, or you're just having fun and you actually end up in Orange County and in California, please go down there and, meet up with the OC Jets Fan Club. That's a phenomenal club. They do a lot of great things, like you heard about, from Bob, man. They're just doing great things down there, connecting with each other, and cheering this team on, throughout the good and the bad. Yes, salutes, man. I always love that. I love hearing about, fans from all kinds of different places connecting because, again, I'm a Jets fan, and I'm from Long Beach, California. Long Beach Joe, that's where the name comes from. And it's always great for me to connect with other fans. I've met fans from all over the place, Jets fans from, Florida, Jets fans from Texas, Jets fans from, Oregon, all over the place. And we just were all able to sit down and really, connect and talk about the football team and just give opinions left and right about what we thought about the team. So it's always good to hear from fan clubs, just connecting people. So with that said, and now put to the side now, and again, I want to thank Bob Gage for coming on. Listen, it's time to talk about this New York Jets linebacker position. I also want to talk to you folks today about Marcus May as well. I'm really hoping the Jets were able to get a deal done with him. But you look at this Jets linebacker position, and there's some questions there. And I think that this is a position that a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about as much as they should be. For me, the number one question is, where is CJ Mosely going to be at this point? Okay? We know that he's out there. He said that he's healthy. We've heard a lot of things from him talking about how, hey, I'm back. I've got a chip on my shoulder. I haven't played in pretty much 2 seasons. I haven't played much, and I'm ready to go out there and prove to people, what I'm about. Show people how I can handle business out there. Show them why the New York Jets paid me, signed me, and brought me in here. Now, there's been a lot of frustration from this fan base, a lot. Let me tell you, I've heard it, all right? I've heard it. Everyone knows, I've been running the show for quite a bit. And I remember this past offseason, there were people, talking about getting rid of CJ. There were people talking about trading him before the offseason. I had fans calling in saying, listen, it's time to move on from this guy. There were fans that are extremely frustrated. He's only played 2 games in 2 years. We haven't seen much out of him. There were people frustrated when he, decided to opt out. So you look at this situation now, and you've got to hope that CJ Mosely, when he gets out there week 1, that we're seeing a guy that can come in and have immediate impact. Because when we saw that game, that first game that CJ Mosely played against the Bills, he was phenomenal. And we also saw that when CJ Mosely exited that field with the injury, with that hamstring injury, we saw how this defense went downhill after he left. And there was major issues. We ended up losing that game. And even when he came back, during the season, for that one game that he came back in, he was not fully healthy at all. He was limping around out there. You could see that he was hampered big time by the injury, and he just did not play well whatsoever. He should not have been out there. So when you look at the situation now, if Mosely could come in and have an impact, have the type of impact that we all think that he can have fully healthy, this defense is going to be something else to deal with. It truly, truly is, bro. With the type of talent that CJ Mosely has added to, what our defensive front can do and all the other pieces that we have, man, it's going to do nothing but bode well, especially when you have a coach like Robert Saleh. When you have Saleh out there running this defense, when you have him out there doing his thing, again, with Jeff Albrecht as well, that's our defensive coordinator. So when you have this guy out there scheming up, we've seen what Saleh was able to do with the Niners with backers. We saw him take linebackers that people thought were, this guy's all right. He'll be okay. He's not really that good. And we saw him work with guys and turn them into really good linebackers in this league. Hell, we saw him take a Niners defense that had a ton of injuries on it and still be able to make it a functional defense, a defense that was able to continue to churn out production and that was extremely solid. They beat the crap out of us was it last year? Beat the crap out of us with a defense that had tons of injuries on it, So CJ Mosely is going to be a huge piece to this defense. And if he can come in and be solid and be fully healthy, oh, man, I'm telling you, this Jets defense is going to be something else, man, something else. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. Again, the lines are open, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. The lines are open. We're getting into everybody. I want to say this before we get to the lines just a second. Everyone knows I love Marcus May. Okay? I mean, come on. Everyone knows I love Marcus May. I'm a very objective Jets fan, though. I keep it 100% real. I think Marcus May is a phenomenal player. I think he's one of the best players on our defense. I think he's a phenomenal face. I think he's one of the best safeties in the league. I'm really hoping that the New York Jets will be able to get something done before July 15th. For those of you that don't know, Marcus May, there were some issues with contract, trying to get an extension for him coming into, this past offseason. Wasn't able to get the deal, done. They ended up franchising Marcus May. Marcus May's agent really went off on social media. A lot of people wanted him to kind of quiet down, but, things got worked out to the point where Marcus May signed the franchise tag, so he's going to be here under the franchise tag. He's making somewhere, I think, in $11 or $10 million as of right now. So they're trying to work out a contract, and we've even heard Salah talk about it, about, how they're going to continue to try to work through it, and they're excited to work through it. But there's been a lot of reports as well that him and the Jets are, kind of far apart on what they think, the contract should be. They have the July 15th to work on the contract. After that, that's the deadline. After that, there's a lot of things that can happen going into next year's free agency. And so I'm really hoping that the Jets will be able to get a deal done because it'll go a long way. It'll say a lot of things, not just to the fan base, but it'll say a lot of things to the franchise and the locker room, right? The Jets have always had issues being able to keep their own. That's always been an issue here. Players that really showed out and showed up for us often would walk away and have some of their best years with other teams. We've had issues just making sure that we can keep homegrown talent in the building. That's been a big problem with the New York Jets. So if you're able to get a deal done with Marcus May, what it shows, what it shows the fan base and the franchise is, hey, this is a different time. This is a different day. The New York Jets will keep players that go to the wall for us. The New York Jets will keep players that turn up, that show up and show out, if we draft you. We're going to keep our own homegrown talent. But it also shows the locker room that, listen, if you come in, if the New York Jets get you, and you come in and you go to the wall for us and you give us everything that you have, and you become one of the better players, not only in this league, not only but on this team, then you will be rewarded for that. And we've heard from Sulla, constantly say that he wants to put guys in the best positions to be able to make plays and make as much money as possible. So that's going to be huge. And I want to hear from the callers tonight. I want to hear about that as well. But I'm really hoping that the New York Jets are able to get a deal done with him because, man, let me tell you something. Marcus May's versatility is unbelievable. This is a guy that can do everything for you defensively. He's great in coverage. He can come up to the box and make plays as well within the run game. We've seen him do that. We've seen him completely blow teams up, coming down and on blitzes, all kinds of things. So, and he's going to be instrumental as well, this season too. We saw him be instrumental last year as well. When our coverage was spotty at times because we had issues at corner, he was the guy back there playing that roaming safety look so that guys wouldn't, be blowing past our corners. And honestly, when you look at our cornerback position this year, unless we get some guy out of nowhere, we're still kind of having those questions. And I think we'll see Marcus May continue to be able to do his thing out there in coverage and be utilized in other spots. There was even talks about him possibly coming up and filling that strong safety role at times, again, within his versatile repertoire, be able to come up and do different things within the defense that we have, now with the scheme. So there's a lot to talk about. Again, this defense has switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So there's going to be, a lot of different kind of scheme fits going on too. We're going to talk about it all tonight. We're talking about CJ Mosely, Marcus May. I want to talk to you folks about Cashman as well. That weak side linebacker position, is it all his? Is he a guy that you could pin in as a starter? I want to talk about it. So we're going to get to these lines again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in right now. I want to talk to everybody. So we're going to get to it. So first call I'm going to go to right now, 732-732. I'm coming directly to you. First off, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. It's always phenomenal to speak to you. Listen, 732, give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely. What are your expectations out of him this year?
What's up, Joe? How you doing? I think the last time we spoke was one of those December games at the end of the Gates era, so happy to talk on better occasions.
Oh, yes. First off, again, I want to thank you for calling in. Look, we put that behind us.
Okay. That was, if we can get through that, dude. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Dude, anytime there's a mention of Adam Gase on this show, it's a That was a car crash. That entire season last season was a car crash. Get it to him again. Listen, keep your hands on the wheel. Keep your hands on the wheel,
yes,
my
sir.
man. All right, that time is
yes,
that time is gone. Okay, he's gone. We got Sulla now. Things are changing. All right, give me your thoughts about this situation, man. What are your thoughts when you look at this Jets defense? When you look at this linebacker position, CJ Mosely is a big name. People are constantly talking about him. They're saying, "Look, things need to change. We need to see more out of this guy." What are your expectations of him this season, man?
I'm expecting CJ to be. I'd say at least 80% of the player he was in his prime, if not more. Like that's what I'm saying, at least 80%. Because people forget before he even came to the Jets, he was an All-Pro. I think even since he was a rookie in the league, and I think he was, he was a Pro Bowler every year in the league, and he was a Pro Bowler twice. And we all know how dominant he was the first 3 quarters of the year. But this is like one of the best linebackers in football. I even said before the 2019 year started that I thought he was the best pickup of the entire offseason, which I guess I was right for 3 quarters, and then that went downhill. But I especially think in the Robert Saleh system and what Ulbricht's going to be calling plays for, they keep saying it doesn't matter what the scheme is. He's just that intelligent. He's a leader on the field. He's going to be the quarterback in the defense. He's going to help the young guys out. I think he's so valuable. He's not worth $17 million. I don't think any linebacker in the league is. I think $15 million would have been a little better, but McCagnon bids against himself like every other contract he negotiates. But
Yeah. Listen. I mean, he was paid quite a bit. Okay, he was paid quite a lot.
Yeah.
I remember that there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of people saying, hey, what's going on? Why do we pay this linebacker so much? But like you said, when you watch that Bills game, dude, he was phenomenal. But ever since then, because again, 2 games, 2 years, there's been a lot of people going off about it, and I'm hoping to really see him turn things around this season, especially again with the way that he's talking right now. He's coming in and he's fired up. He's hearing it from everywhere. He's heard the things that people have been saying. He talked about it. And he's looking to show people, listen, this is why the Jets paid me. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you folks about what I'm about, the true CJ Mosely. I'm about to show you. And he talked about he's fully healthy and he's ready to go, man. But when you look at this linebacking core as well, because, again, we're looking to see what CJ Mosely has, I'm looking around, and there's some names. There's some different guys. You look at a guy like Gerard Davis, a guy that we, picked up. What are your expectations from him? Because, again, we're switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3. We've got some new guys in. He's one of the new guys. Do you think that this is a guy that can make an impact as well within this 4-3 defense?
I certainly think so, and this guy was a first-round pick when he was drafted. Mm-hmm. They say he was never utilized correctly in Detroit. I think outside of his rookie year, whenever Patricia took over, he was placed out of position. And we know Matt Patricia is the Adam Gase of defensive-minded coaches. He was easily as bad as Adam. Well, no, Gase was worse, but you got what I mean. He was probably the second worst coach in the entire league. There's so much film out there, and he has so much potential. Like, he was one of the highest-rated linebackers coming out of college in that draft. So I think the potential is there. I mean, I think his mindset is good. He has that all-gas, no-break mentality. So I think, the linebacker group is young, and he's still pretty young, but at least he has some reps under his belt, and he's supposed to be going back in the position that he's been groomed for.
Yeah. And you brought up a lot of the points that I was going to say as well. Here's a guy that a lot of people are saying, hey, he hasn't been utilized correctly. You haven't seen the best of his skill set yet. And if there's anything that we know or anything that we've heard about, one of the big things about Sully is he's a guy that can find what a guy does well and utilize that effectively within his scheme. And I talked about it. Again, I'm on the West Coast. I am forced to watch the Niners on a weekly basis. Let me tell you something. It is horrific. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. They force
Garoppolo is not a fun quarterback to watch.
Yeah, I got to watch these guys. It's not good. I don't want to see anything that's not green and white, okay? But I'm forced to watch these guys on a weekly basis. So I watched Sulla utilize these guys in his scheme last season, guys that a lot of people really thought, he's not really that good. He's average. He's not really going to do anything. And he was able to put these dudes in positions to truly make plays and play them at and play to their highest of potential. So I'm excited to see what he does with Davis as well. Now, my final question before I let you go, man, because these lines are hot, I'm going to make sure that I get to everybody tonight is, what are your thoughts about this situation with Marcus May, man? Do you think that the New York Jets will be able to get a deal done with him before that July 15th deadline?
It's going to be close. I'd say if they do, it's going to come down to, the final 3 days, because I think the longer he sits, I think the longer the Jets have leverage, because he's going to be on the roster regardless this year. And he signed the tag. He's not going to hold out. He already showed up the minicamp. So I think there's a chance, and I actually do believe that he will be the first Jet player in a long time that's been homegrown that will get an extension. Who's the last player that got an extension? Mark Sanchez, which was that was a disaster. Like the last 2 years of Mark was a disaster. I don't know why we extended so quick. I think he was the last homegrown guy that we extended, if I remember.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember, we definitely got a deal done for Muhammad Wilkerson. Right? Yeah, we definitely got a deal done for Wilkerson as well. But like you said, you want to make sure you get the right guys in and sign the right guys. And when you look at Marcus May, he checks pretty much,
Did you see
every check mark
the numbers that came out today? Like they say the Jets, according to a source, believe he's like 11 to 12. But Marcus May's camp is preaching for 14.5. And no offense, love Marcus May as much as you do, but 14.5 mil, probably not going to do it. Especially since he came out of the league late in as an age, so he's 20 years old in his fifth year. So I'll probably give him 3 years for 36 with like 28 million guaranteed or something like that. That's my evaluation. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's the range I would probably pay him.
Yeah, I was a big guy on 11 to 12 million. I might move to 13. I'd have no issues with that. But again, you got to think too. A lot of this is posturing. A lot of it is doing whatever you can to get the most that you can. So maybe they could settle at 13. I wouldn't necessarily knock that. That's a solid sign, especially for a guy that's so versatile and a guy that's been, so instrumental within your locker room too. You got to think this guy's a team captain as well. This guy's a guy that, a lot of people follow, a lot of guys follow, a lot of guys look to for leadership. And not just that. It's not just the leadership because, we always hear that, that's worth just leadership. No, it's not just leadership with him. You get to play as well. This is a guy that's a really good safety, one of the better safeties in the league. You know what I'm saying? He's not just, he's good on the Jets roster. No, you look at the numbers, you look at the cover, you look at the rankings, you look at all that stuff. Dude, he's good league-wide. But, man, I'm telling you,
one more quick topic. One more quick thing before I go. Does it drive you crazy that the national media and the national perspective of the Jets is still insanely negative? Like Adam Gase is still the coach. It's like they've ignored everything we've done this offseason. They seem to have ignored. They act like we're the exact same team. I'm like, how can anyone think that we're still going to be like a bottom 3 team in the league? Like that we could literally quadruple our win total, going from 2 to 8, or I'd say probably 8 to 10 after the Morgan Moses signing. I think defense, the only weakness is probably corner, but it's a zone scheme with a heavy pass rush, so that should help compensate some of it. The linebackers are a question mark, but Saleh had a top 15 defense in San Francisco last year with all the injuries on the defensive line and a bunch of random linebackers, as you mentioned before. I think the only really big weakness on offense is probably tight end. I mean, the running back by committee approach I think is going to be great with the guys we have. Wide receivers, I think, are the most stacked we've had since 2015. I don't think the team is that bad. Like I think 2022 should be a playoff expected year. This year, we'll see what happens. I think we just need growth and potential to see. But I think 2022 is realistic to assume playoffs going into the year.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and before I let you go, but here's the thing, is that when you look at the situation here, negativity often drives clicks. Within this fan base, it often drives clicks in New York. And I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but again, you could look at the things that we've had going on in the past with our beat. Guys with anonymous sources, people saying things that don't make much sense when you look at the production out on the field. Like you said, this is a new time and a new day. The Jets have turned a corner. The Jets are in a different place. This is not Mike McCagnon. He's not here anymore. This is not Todd Bowles. He's gone. Adam Gase has been gone. Why do we consistently bring those guys up? Because the more negative you are about the New York Jets, the more you can just kick out the same old spiel, the more clicks you get. But this is a different day and different time. Joe Douglas is in the building.
Like, no one's talking about Jacksonville. I mean, it got Trevor Lawrence, but did they mention Urban Meyer already had to fire a coach within the first 2 weeks he was hired? Why did you draft the running back in the first round when you won one game last year and you had a rookie that had 1,000 yards rushing last year instead of improving the line, the defense, anything? I don't think Jacksonville is set up for success at all, to be honest with you, but the media won't talk about them because they're in Jacksonville and we're in New York. So
Exactly. And that's what it is here. Listen, I got to get to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You have yourself a good one. Listen, I'm telling you, he just hit the nail on the head. That was a phenomenal call. Listen, no matter how good the Jets are or what's going on, I'm telling you, you're always going to get negativity out of, especially the national media. they're always going to bash the New York Jets. It's always going to be the Jets are trash. It's always going to be, well, the Jets are only going to win 1 game or 2 games this year. Whoever we draft, oh, yeah, he for sure is going to be a bust. You're going to constantly get that. That's just how it works with a lot of people here. That's just how it works with a lot of national media and even some people within our beat as well. We've made positive moves, and I've read stuff from the beat, and they're still talking about, yeah, well, but what about this or what about that? You know, it's like, well, listen, we're coming out of a situation where we had a general manager pretty much ruin this roster. Our new general manager is trying to put things together and get things going. He's not going to fix everything in 1 year. But if you look at what this guy has done, if you look at what Joe Douglas has done within free agency, within the draft, it's to be commended. This guy has really turned this team around, you know? He's had 2 drafts here. He's done pretty damn good. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm not here to continue to speak on negativity. I'm all positive. I'm all Jets all the time. And I'm excited about our direction. So we're going to keep getting to these lines again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We got callers. Please be patient. We will get to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep getting to these lines. I'm going to go to Chris, my guy Chris. I'm coming directly to you, Chris. We're talking Jets tonight, Chris. We're talking everything. Give me your thoughts on CJ Mosely going into this season. How do you feel about him, and what are your expectations of him out of him coming into this season, man?
I've always said CJ Mosely's a baller. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Brian Urlacher. He knows defenses. He can read defenses. I'm not worried about CJ Mosely on this defense at all.
Okay. So how many tackles do you think he has this season, my friend?
I think CJ Mosely has an all-pro season. This guy knows. This guy's a real linebacker. This guy knows defenses. He's captain of the defense. If you could see what he did with a pedestrian quarterback on the Baltimore Ravens, you look at a guy like that, man. That guy adds at least 2 wins. Dude, that's 2 wins to your season. Just that guy alone. Yeah. He can change games. He's a game changer. That's why $17 million, I don't feel, is enough for that guy, because I think this guy on your defense, at least he gives you 2 wins.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at this situation as well, and I like what you're talking about, CJ, because I think he's really going to make a big-time impact this year. I think he's going to rebound from the issues that he's had in the past. You know, his health, that hamstring, I think really hampered him, you know, and he opted out the next year. And I think he's going to really turn a lot of Jets fans around. But when you look at the rest of this linebacking core, there's some questions, quite a bit new faces. You know, even guys who we drafted, Hamza Naraldine, Cheryl Wood, we ended up with getting a guy like Delshon Phillips. There's so many different names. And when you look at this situation out there at the weak side linebacker with Cashman, do you think he's a guy that you can just pencil in as a starter there? Do you think he'll be challenged by some of the younger guys that we have? Maybe Neville Dean or Sherwood. Could you see either one of those guys taking that spot?
I think those guys could step up. I think the guy from Detroit will be on the starting lineup with CJ Mosely. I think Cashman is underrated. I've seen some great things out of him. But like I said, this guy knows football. If you can look for his history from Alabama to the Baltimore Ravens, there's just some guys you know that they're going to bring their A game to the defense and it's going to make a difference. And this is one of the guys. This is one of the guys that you know that's going to bring it every game, and you know that he's going to make a difference on the defense.
Yeah.
And for reading coverages, reading quarterbacks, he's the captain of the defense. I mean, the reason Baltimore probably didn't win a championship is because they didn't re-sign him. They should have re-signed him and not, the other guys they brought in. Just to be honest.
Okay, look, I respect it. You're bringing it right now. I see you're a big Mosley fan, and I respect that. But when you look at the situation, when you're talking about Cashman, though, because you said, hey, Cashman's out there, are you concerned about Cashman's injury history? Because we saw that plague him, too. He was injured last year as well. We saw him miss quite a bit of time. We saw him miss, quite a bit of time his first year, too. He has an injury history as well going into college, those shoulders and all that stuff. Yeah. Do you think that will continue to follow him into this season, and he'll continue to have issues staying healthy and staying on the field?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that just goes back to Blake's training and stuff. But if you look at this guy's history from Minnesota, he's excellent in coverage. He has great on the ball. So, I hope so, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee about this guy, but I think this guy has excellent coverage skills. If you look on the team, you look at what happens in history in Minnesota, I think he can bring it, man. I think he can do a lot of stuff, especially in coverage. And I think that CJ Mosely letting guys know coverage and reads before they actually get in the ball, I think that's going to help a lot. You have a quarterback with a defense. Unlike Jamal was a little bit selfish. You know, you got a team guy like CJ, man, that knows defenses, knows how to read them coverage. You got a quarterback on the defense, like a Peyton Manning type guy in that thing. And I don't think Jet fans know what kind of – I mean, some of us do, but some of us, $17 million. This guy's worth it, I'm telling you. You're going to see. This guy's going to be worth it. The defense is going to be totally different with this guy there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. And so my final question, and I mean, you know, you're bringing it right now. My final question for you, though, you talked about, you know, defenses and guys making an impact. A guy that's made a huge impact for us so far has been Marcus May, man. We've seen this guy shine bright. You know, even when Jamal Adams was here and everybody was loving Jamal, you know, and I respected it. I like Jamal as well, but I told people, listen, this dude Marcus May is something else. I've been, you know, very vocal. I've been out there. I talked about Marcus May being the best safety on the team, even when Jamal Adams was here. And I'm starting to see people come around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see it. I'm just saying, you know, I'm starting to see people kind of say, wait a minute.
Here we go.
Wait a minute. Maybe Joe was right all along. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm starting to see. I'm starting to hear. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm just saying it. You know, we'll continue to see that. But so when you look at this situation, the Jets are still trying to find, you know, a way to get him signed. When you look at this situation, do you believe the Jets will get the deal done before the 15th? And if so, what number do you think they settle at? Do you think he gets the $14 million that reportedly he's looking for? Do you think they work that number down?
Okay, so I think I like this guy. I think he fits in the defense. I think for $14 million, let's put him in the $14 million category. Is he better than Landon Collins? Is he better than let's get a look at a guy in his same position, a guy like Eric Thomas. You think that Marcus May is just as good as Eric Thomas? I wouldn't say so. I think he's good, but I don't know if he's Eric Thomas good. So I would say 11 to 12 million, to me, is the thing. And I think he should accept that, being in New York, being the spotlight of the team. Because think about it. If Marcus May was that much again, we wouldn't have just won 2 games last year. I mean, I know the other parts of the team is bad and everything else, but asking for $14 million to me is a little bit over the top. Unless they can structure the contract where it's downtrending, or it's structure the contract to give him $14 million a year, but not really giving him $14 million. How they do it with different contracts. But if you gave me, asking you, if you put Marcus May and a guy like Earl Thomas who plays the same situation, who would you take?
Well, I mean, Earl Thomas is he's in a different point in his career. But I'll tell you what, I look at Marcus May, and I look at Marcus May, and I say to myself, here's a guy that's been phenomenal for us. And I understand what you're saying about last season. You know, we didn't win as many games as you would think. But again, Marcus May plays safety. He does not play quarterback. He does not play. He doesn't play offense. We had the 32nd ranked offense last year. We had the worst coach in probably the history of the New York Jets.
I agree with that.
Of the New York Jets. We had the worst coach in all of football. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of things to overcome. But but when you
look at history of football, he's the worst coach in history of football.
Come on, Chris.
No.
Come on, Chris. You every time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to go. You just gotta hit him with the real.
You're right.
Yeah, listen, Gabe was trash. He was completely trash. He was the worst coach in the history of the New York Jets. He was the worst coach in all of football. That's a lot to overcome. But again, when you look at one of the sticking and standing points for this defense, it was Marcus May. Even with all those guys going out last year, Marcus May was out there. You look at the games that we did win, he was instrumental in. You look at that Raiders game that we should have won, Marcus May made plays in that game. The reason why we lost this game is because of Greg Williams and that horrific call that he made. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and I say to myself, players that put on for you like that, players that are team captains, players that play through whatever's going on, then you make the deal. Now, again, I don't want to drastically overpay him. I don't want to do that. We've done that in the past. We see how that's bitten us. But I want to make sure that we get him a solid deal. Now, again, in the past, I have said, hey, I'm willing to go 11, 12 million. If he wants 14, maybe we can settle somewhere in the middle. Maybe 13, maybe 12.5. I'd have no issues with that. I have no issues.
You
with
get
that.
12 with 14 with incentives, but I wouldn't just give him a blank check. I mean, this is the way you got to look at it. Who are we paying? Who are we paying now?
Especially not a safety, but
who are we paying right now? We're paying. We're paying CJ Mosely. We're paying
CJ Mosely is getting paid quite a bit. Yeah, CJ Mosely is getting paid quite a bit. There's some guys, but we've cut a lot of guys down too. You got to think. You know, Jamison Crowder, we cut his deal down. We were able to bring him in.
Right.
So there's some cap left. I think we got somewhere around $25 million left on the cap. So we can still make some moves there, Chris. We can still make some moves. So I understand what you're saying. I don't want to give a safety a blank check either, but you know, we can do something so that we make sure we get our own back in the building.
I agree with 100% what you're saying. I believe Marcus May should be a part of this team. I want him here. But, you know, if we could do it 13 and incentives, that's fine. And, you know, one more thing I'd like to add before I leave. I think the reasonable expectation, and Greeny said this on his part, in this thing. We, for the young quarterback, let's hold our expectations for this team. A lot of running, a lot of stuff. Because even Peyton Manning in his first year went 3-13. And he's the greatest. Zach Wilson could be great. But let's temper our expectations. Let's not jump all over the guy if he throws a lot of interceptions or stuff. He's still learning the offense. He's got plenty of help. You know, this guy's going to be a good quarterback. And I just like we said before, I called you before, I'm in for the long haul. This is a complete rebuild. And I understand that.
Chris, you're a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan. Do you think Jets fans are truly going to listen?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but we have to think. You know, it's like losing weight. You can't just say I'm going to lose 30 pounds one day. You're going to have to take it over time. And my expectation, this guy is a heavy run game. We got a great thing. Mm-hmm. We could win 10 games, but our running game is going to be the key, and our tight ends. That's what I believe that Jack Wilson could do. Even Russell Wilson, when he came in the league, you know, he was kind of like shoddy, you know. So let's leave expectation for Zach Wilson. Let's not put him in the Peyton Manning or he's going to be number one quarterback in the league. The run game and the offensive line is good, but let's temper expectations. 6 wins, 7 wins, great season. You know, we could have won 4 or 5 games last year without Adam Gase. So if Adam Gase leaves, that's 5 wins right there.
Chris. So, Chris, and you speak in facts, and I hear you, and I'm right there with you. But I'm telling you, there's a segment of this fan base that ain't going to want to hear that, bro. I'm telling you right now.
I know.
There's already – listen, I saw somebody literally say, who would you take? Would you take Lamar Jackson or would you take Zach Wilson over Lamar Jackson at this point? I'm serious. I saw this on social media. I had people asking me this. I'm dead serious when I say that. Okay, so I understand. I'm right there with you, Chris. I'm telling you, I've talked about this. I said, listen, let's not expect too much out of Zach his first year. He's not going to come in and be Aaron Rodgers right off the bat. He's not going to do this. But there's a segment of this fan base. You and I both know it. Let's be real. All right? Let's be serious.
You're right. You're right.
There's a segment of this fan base that the second that he has a 2-interception game or he doesn't play well, they're going to jump all over him. They're going to destroy him. That's a fact. But the big thing is the difference is now that I think, you know, probably plagued all those quarterbacks in the past is that the support system now is different. The coaching is different. Our offensive coordinator is different. Our scheme is different. I think that the guys that we have now are going to be able to put him in positions to make plays and do what he does best. I think that was a big reason why Sam didn't see the success that he should have seen here early was because the scheme was not fit to his skill set. It wasn't placated for him whatsoever.
You're right.
It was just, hey, I'm going to run what I run, and hopefully, you can make a play. But if I see you struggling or if I'm doing something that's completely against what you actually do well, who cares? You know what I'm saying? That's not what's happening now. So I do think he'll have an easier transition, but there's going to be some issues, Chris. There's going to be some big issues.
Like
so listen, I got to get back to these lines, Chris.
I want to say one last. For the first time in the last time, for the first time in a long time, I believe that we're on the right path. Let's not deviate from this right now. Let's stay on the path we have now, not make crazy moves or whatever. We're on the right path right now. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, and I hear Chris, and I respect it. Salute to him. That was great. We're going to keep getting to these lines, but I'm telling you, I know Jets fans like y'all know Jets fans. Let's keep it real, all right? The second he has a 2-interception game, there's going to be people in his fan base that's going to jump all over him. All over him. We all know it. The beat is going to jump all over him. You can see it coming. But I think what's changed this year, okay, from years in the past is that we have a coaching staff that we believe is competent and going to be able to put him in position to make plays. And when he does have those games, he has things that are going to be able to help him pull himself out of that. Hell, he has a quarterback's coach. Sam never had that. That alone tells you it's a different time here. He actually has a quarterback's coach. So if his mechanics break down or things aren't going how they should, then guess what? He has a guy that he can go to that can say, all right, look, here's the film. Here's what you need to do. Here's how we're going to help you get it together. So, I respect that. But we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in, man. We're talking to everybody. We're talking Jets. We're talking CJ Mosely. So we're going to keep getting to these lines again. Everyone, please be patient. We're going to get to everybody. These lines are hot. So next we're going to go to my guy Shaq, man. This is my guy Shaq on the line. Salutes to you, Shaq. It's good to hear from you, man. Give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, my friend. How are you feeling about him going into the season? What do you think he does for the New York Jets?
Hello?
Yeah, 845? Oh, is this 8? I'm sorry, 845?
Yeah, I'm not Zach. Yeah, it's Cheaty, man. What's up, CT?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What did you say?
I didn't know I was next. My bad. CJ, I'm all for seeing what he got in the tank this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what he got. I think when he went down, he was one of the best middle linebackers in the league. I'm not saying he's number one, but he's definitely extremely, extremely intelligent. So the way he plays football, he's going to be a great veteran to help out this young defense and put them in the best positions to succeed.
Yeah, he is. I look at this situation and I'm saying, there's definitely going to be, players out there that are going to put things together. But CJ is a guy, man, that I'm excited about, especially if he can turn things around this season. A lot of people were really hitting on him last season, especially because he opted out. And I think that this year he's going to really show us, what he's about and how he does things. But I have questions about the other linebacker positions as well, because a lot of people are really focused on CJ because they want to see him turn it around. But what are your thoughts about Cashman, man? A lot of people have him penciled in as that weak side linebacker. Do you think that he'll be challenged by any of the younger guys that we drafted, maybe a Hamza Naraldine or even a Sherwood? Could you see those guys taking his spot?
Oh, for sure. It's because Cashman, his problem is injury. He's injured. And I know CJ hasn't played much either. But I just hope that everybody can be healthy and we have depth. That's what I'm praying for. I hope we can have Cashman start and have, Nasruddin or Sherwood back him up in case he gets injured. But I have a lot of let's put it this way. I think Nasruddin and Sherwood are going to surprise a lot of people. I think they have a lot of potential especially in that linebacker position. I know they can kind of split between that and and play a little DB as well, which is pretty cool. We got versatility in our backfield. But especially with the veteran CJ Mosely, I can't wait to see what he does with the full season with the Jets. And then in addition to guys like Nasruddin, Sherwood, Cashman, I believe that we can hopefully have the depth in case people do go down so they can come in and we not skip a beat on D.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now, you look at that other linebacker position because you brought up some guys. Gerard Davis, a lot of people are saying, hey, we have yet to see the best from this kid. This is a guy that, can definitely turn things around with the New York Jets. Do you believe in this 4-3 scheme here with Sulla that we'll see this guy reach his true potential? Because he's a former first-rounder.
Word. I forget that, he's a former first-rounder. So, when it comes to Gerard Davis, a lot of people insiders have been saying that he was one of the best free agent signings that the Jets have gotten, that kind of like under the radar. Him and Keelan Cole, people have been talking about that they're both under the radar signings by the Jets. So I don't know too much about Gerard Davis. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch him play, but from what I'm hearing, apparently he hasn't reached his ceiling yet, and that's what I love about Joe Douglas and how he tackled the off season. He really found some gems, whether it be in the draft or whether it be in free agency. He found some gems that fit our scheme, fit what we're trying to do, and people who have yet to reach their peak. So even if you want to even talk about Carl Lawson, I think he even has another gear to go to reach his peak. So everybody's on the uprise that he signed on the off season, and so I'm extremely pleased with what we've gotten done for our defense, especially the middle linebacker group, because if you don't have tacklers out there and you're missing tackles, and that's the one thing I'm worried about with the rookies. If they're missing tackles and everything, then, obviously it's a rookie season. They're learning on the fly. Hopefully we got people like CJ and Blake Cashman to coach them up to in the locker rooms to get them in the right spots. But Gerard Davis, I think he'll start.
Yeah. I think he will as well. Now, I want to go to the offensive side of the ball with you because I was just talking to a caller, Chris, and he brought up a great point, and I was right there with him. I said, listen, he was saying, hey, let's be patient with Zach Wilson. Let's not expect too much out of him this season. Again, we're already starting to see Wilson season everywhere. A lot of people are Wall Street Wilson. A lot of people expecting a lot of big things. Do you believe that this fan base will be patient with him? Do you believe that this fan base will allow him the time to grow as a young quarterback? See, you already laughing. You guys hear that? You guys hear that?
Yeah.
No. Listen, if you heard it, all right, my audio's great. My audio's great.
I know that the fan
audio's great.
Is savage.
Go ahead.
I know we call us the savages and whatnot, but I believe that I hope I'm going to hold out hope for the fan base to be a little bit more mature this season. Maybe I'm naive to do that. I think that people are seeing that the front office is taking the time to actually make the right decisions, and I don't think I think the majority, there's going to be a vocal minority that are going to be saying, oh, Zach Wilson is not as good as Trevor, or Zach Wilson is not as good as XYZ player, Justin Fields, whatever. There's going to be a minority of people that are a vocal minority, which always are talking, and I'm going to say something negative. But believe it or not, I've been seeing a lot of positivity from the fan base, a lot of excitement from the fan base. I think a lot of it has to do with Robert Saleh coming into the building and changing the culture, and obviously we've always been a big supporter of Joe Douglas and what he's been doing, and think this offseason he really made a statement in how he approached it. So I think people have more faith this year than they did last year, even going into last season. And I think the majority of Jets fans that I'm seeing, whether it be on social media or ones that I've talked to, they're waiting. They're expecting the Jets to be better, but they're not expecting us to necessarily take the NFL by storm and go crazy. Yeah. I do believe, even the call he just had, even him, he's bringing people down to reality. Now, granted, there's going to be a local minority that's going to just want us to succeed and win the Super Bowl already, and you just can't listen to those people. You really got to be a little bit more pragmatic, and that's why I like your show. You bring people on, people have their opinions, and you get to see different sides of Jets fans and what the fan base is talking about and what we're expecting. And even on your show for the past couple of weeks, I think a lot of people are being excited, but also tempering their expectations. So I want to say that a lot of people have kind of grown over the past couple of months, hopefully, and grown up to say, hey, give this team a chance, rather than just sit on just crap on everything that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Same old Jets stuff. But the same old Jets conversation. I think the narrative, hopefully, is beginning to change.
Yeah. Yeah. This was an amazing call for you. Give him a hand, folks. Let's give him a hand. Give him a hand. Listen, I can respect where respect is due, but even you couldn't say that without laughing. Even
of course,
he couldn't say it without laughing.
Of course.
I'm telling you,
you know what he's been doing. We all have PTSD as that thing.
Yeah,
we all have
PTSD. That's a fact, and I call my Tampa Savages a reason. They're savage, you know what I'm saying? These are all Jets fans. They have high expectations. But like you said as well, and we're going to keep talking about this tonight because Chris brought this up, and this is a great point. I try to tell everybody, and I told people the second he got drafted, just be patient with this kid. Young quarterbacks, it takes time. But I think, and you hit this nail on the head. I think that the difference between this year and years in the past when we drafted young quarterbacks is the coaching talent surrounding these kids, the guys that, are going to be in charge of grooming him and getting him to the next level. We have so much faith in. You look at the support that he's going to have as far as coaching, it's just completely different. You have an offensive coordinator with a scheme that fits his skill set, and they're going to put him in the best position to succeed. He has, all these other things as well that even Sam didn't have. Quarterbacks coach that's going to be able to help him with his mechanics if they break down. And like you said in the past, and I've talked about this, how big a great running game is for a young quarterback. The best friend of a young quarterback offensively is a solid running game. It takes the pressure off of you. It shortens your third downs, and not just that. You can work off of that, okay? Play action becomes a big deal. You look at how the Ravens are running their offense. Lamar, his first year, they were running the ball a lot. They were running the ball quite a bit. He would work off that. Now, look at what the kid's turned into. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So, yeah, we're doing things differently. But listen, I got to get back to these lines, man. Go ahead. I'll let you get the last word. I'll get back to you.
No, I was just going to say that you nailed it, like when it comes to the run game being so vital and so to a young quarterback's growth, and what they did with Lamar Jackson. Now we're seeing him pass the ball a little bit more, but like Robert Saleh said, this organization is there to uplift him, not him uplift the organization. And to do that, I think putting the hands and giving our offensive line the work and putting them in position to do a great job for our running backs to get out there and produce, and then open things up for Zach is going to be special, especially with the talent that Zach has. And once we open up the field a little bit, I think we're going to see some really stellar plays because I know he can swing that ball a little bit around the field. And with Elijah Moore, Corey Davis out there, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. It's always phenomenal to speak with you. Yeah. You have a good one, my friend, man. It was always great to speak to you. So I'm going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. We are getting to everybody. Lines are hot. We're going to keep it moving. I'm going to get to my guy, Steve, next. Donovan John, we see you. We'll come to you in a second. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people hitting me up on social media as well. Don't worry. I will get to everybody, all right? But I'm getting to my guy, Steve. Steve, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, we're talking Jets, man. Give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man. What are your expectations out of him this season, Steve?
Long Beach Joe, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
All right, man. Yeah, no, definitely. Everybody was all talking about, after when the season was over, what are we going to do about CJ Mosely? He's only played 2 games, the groin injury in 2019. And obviously, he opted out last year in 2020 as well, for health sake, because of the whole thing with the pandemic. But now he's coming back, and he looks a lot faster and stronger. You know something, though, Joe? Let me tell you something. The game that CJ Mosely made his debut, the game against Buffalo, the opening game of that season, that game still, when we lost that game 17-16, it was one of the most heartbreaking losses I ever went through as a Jets fan. Going up 16-0 in that game, once when Mosley went out with that groin injury, it really, really hurt us. And let me tell you, he was one of the main reasons why we were winning that game. Once when that groin injury hit, it was a completely different ball game. And listen, and everybody was all, everyone's all saying, because, with Mosley, listen, Mosley is a talent, okay? He is a talent, all right? I don't understand, why, and I think he's going to fit in Robert Saleh's defensive style really well. Mosley is definitely going to be a player to watch for this year.
Yeah, he absolutely is, Steve. He's a guy we're hoping to see, really come out and produce because he's a guy that's getting paid. We paid him quite a bit of money. McCagnon gave him a deal, all right? And we were all really looking for something, and we haven't gotten it, due to injury. We all know that he dealt with that hamstring injury for 2 years. It was pretty bad, and like you said, that Bills game, we watched him get injured in that game, but before it, man, he was really just a monster out there. And then we saw him try to come back, later that year, and things just were not together. He was just limping around out there. There were issues, but, he's talked about coming back. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove to people, that he was worth that contract, and he wants to prove to people that, hey, Jets fans, I can make plays and do things. But when you look around this linebacking core as well, I think there's a bit of questions. You look at a guy like Gerard Davis, a lot of people are saying that he's a guy that hasn't been utilized correctly within scheme. So you look at this situation, Steve, he's coming into a 4-3 scheme here. Do you think we'll see Gerard finally play up to his potential with the New York Jets and this defensive coaching staff?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, it's, and the thing is that, the thing is, listen, it's just that, everybody, is basically saying, what are the players that are going to fit into this style of defense? Listen, Gerard Davis, the last couple of years never really got a big shot in Detroit. And I watched his highlights, and he has a lot of potential to be a good player. Listen, he was a former first-round pick by the Detroit Lions back in 2017. He had his moments in Detroit, but never at the end. Hopefully things can shift around for him, and I'm really, really hoping with him and CJ working together, it will definitely develop as a really good linebacking crew.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does as well. Now, Steve, this is my final question for you. You brought the fire so far during this call. Do you think the Jets will get a deal done with Marcus May before the 15th of July, that deadline, man?
I really, 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 really hope so, because that's the next biggest thing that needs to happen. Marcus May, to me, deserves a contract extension out of any player currently on this team right now. He is the one that deserves a contract extension. Because here's the thing. He's had some flashable moments. And honestly, last year in 2020, he was by far our best player on the field. He was by far the best player on the team. And the thing is, when you look at a situation, now listen, I don't know if he's going to ask for listen, he's not going to be like what Jamal Adams was when Adams was asking for, this and this and kind of that. By the way, and also in good news, before I continue to talk about Marcus May, there's a rumor that Jamal Adams may hold out of camp because he wants a contract. That's why we traded for him, Seattle. Congratulations. Thank you for the first-round pick. So, then again, going back to Marcus May, the kids deserve the contract. The kid deserves the contract, okay? And he's earned it. Let me tell you, he's earned it. The thing is, though, when you look at the season, because everybody is all talking about, everybody's all talking about this whole thing. Oh, if Zach Wilson starts throwing interceptions, guess what? Everyone's all going to turn on him, and they're not going to give him a chance like Sam. Everybody's got to give Zach a chance, and we got to see how it does. Remember, it's all going to depend on how he's built, how he fits with this team. You got to see how it goes. Hey, listen, we haven't even gotten to a preseason game yet. Heck, the end of the year training camp hasn't even started in July, at the end of July. Mm-hmm. Listen, we got to see what happens. This is now a time of the time to relax, focus on your summer right now. And once we get to the end of July, it's time for training camp. It's time for all gas, no brakes. New coaching staff, new team. Let me tell you something. No more Adam Gase, no more Todd Bowles, no more Mike McCagnon. All of that is in the past. It's all on Robert Saleh now. All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
Steve, you brought the fire, man. What a call from you. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Steve. You have yourself a good night, my man.
Woo. Good night, Joe.
What a call from Good night, man. Steve calling in with nothing but fire right there. He brought it. He absolutely brought it. So we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We're going to keep going. We're talking Jets. We're talking CJ Mosely. We're talking Marcus May. A lot to talk about. So next I'm going to get to my guy Donovan. We're going to my guy Donovan. Listen, everybody, for those of you that don't know, I'm not a Nick basher, but Donovan for some reason believes that I am. So he tries to get at me. I don't know what's going on here. I just try to be friends with everybody, but, you know, we all can't be Julius Randle. You know what I'm saying? We all just can't get along around here and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But salutes, Donovan. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, my friend. It's always great to speak to you. Give me your thoughts about this CJ Mosely situation. What are your expectations from him this year, man?
Joe, what's up?
What's on?
I don't like the intro too much, but we got good news that Mr. Trae Young is out for Game 5 tonight, or Game 4, whichever it is. I couldn't be more happier.
Oh man, you just why do come on, man. You just gotta get after
we have to
Trae,
villainize somebody. We got to villainize somebody. He's the one. We have Reggie Miller. Hey, listen.
Come on, now. Come on, Donovan.
He's a little fly at the barbecue, man.
Oh, my goodness, man. Come on.
The fly at the barbecue. You got to get swatted.
Stop. You got to stop, man. You got to stop. Come on. Look, let's talk about this CJ Mosely, man. He's bragging about Trae being out. Come on, man. So what are your thoughts about CJ Mosely? What are your expectations of him coming into, this upcoming season? What do you think he gives the New York Jets?
Mosley is going to be the brains of the defense. We need that strong middle linebacker. He played arguably one of the best halves of football that we ever seen a Jet player play. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's not – I don't understand why some people are saying, oh, no, I don't really think we're going to keep Mosley. Maybe we'll deal him. I don't think we should deal him. Let him play some of this contract out. Let's see what we got with him. And,
yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to be back 100%. He looks like he lost a lot of weight. He looks – I mean, come on. Even when he was at a bigger guy, what did he have, 2 interceptions that game? He kept us in the game.
Well,
if he didn't go out, we possibly would have won.
Too. Yeah,
scored
he scored in that Bills game, too. Yeah. Our offense was terrible that game.
Mosley will be fine. Oh, yeah.
Well, offense was so bad.
Adam Gase.
Oh, God. Anytime people just bring that guy up, man, this is Jeez, keep your hands on the wheel. Goodness gracious. That entire season. No 2 years with that guy up. It was horrible. It was the worst offensive game plans I've ever seen in my life. Anyway,
and our offensive line was absolutely terrible.
Oh, man. Look, anyway, so when you look at this season upcoming here, like you said as well, I think CJ is going to turn things around. I think he'll really show people, why the New York Jets signed him. But I have questions at the other positions as well. When I look at Cashman, man, people pretty much have him penciled in as this weak side linebacker. But I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, look, I respect him. When he's out there on the field, he shows some talent, but he misses time quite a bit. This guy has been injured quite a bit, even going back into college. Are you concerned that this injury history, this injury issue with him will continue on, especially into this season?
Yeah, I think he's just going to be one of those guys who can't stay healthy. I like him when he's on the field, like you said, but I mean, if he stays healthy, yeah, pencil him in. I like him at the position, but if there's a younger guy who's faster, who's more durable, hey, put him in. You got to win the job. Every position this year you have competition in, so it's not like you can pencil anybody in because they might see somebody in training camp that's just like, wow, look at him. Let's give him a shot. You know what I mean? So there's competition all over the place. Maybe it'll raise his level, and maybe he'll be able to stay on the field. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but he got to stay available.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So my final question before I let you go, Donovan. I mean, you brought the fire outside of your Knicks takes. You've been all right tonight. You know what I'm saying? You really brought it. Look, we've been talking about Zach Wilson tonight. We had Chris talk about how he was gave his spiel to Jets fans, and I like the take. I agreed with him that hey, you got to be patient with this kid. You can't expect him to come in and right off the bat be Peyton Manning. And I told him, look. Jets fans, I respect it, but there's a big segment of this fan base that is not going to be patient with this kid. Do you think that Jets fans will turn it around this season and they'll learn from things in the past? Do you think that the fan base will be more patient with Zach Wilson than they have been with quarterbacks of the past?
Do I think they will? No, I don't think they will. This is New York City. We give nobody a chance to grow. We kill our own. That's what we do. But I mean, this is the story of New York teams. This is what happens. We don't give guys chances. And I mean, I think we should fall back and let him grow and see what he could be. I mean, did we give Sam a fair shake? I mean, not really, if you really think about it. Was it a good move to move on from him? Yeah, because you can't have him come in and the first home game is against the Patriots. He throws one interception, the boos are going to be raining down like no tomorrow. So we had to move on, no doubt about it. But we didn't give him a fair shake. We didn't put anything around him to justify him staying or leaving, really. So, I mean, with Zach, we got things around him. I think we need to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I mean, it's been a bumpy roller coaster as a Jet fan, and we need to see what happens with Zach. We got to give guys chances.
Yeah.
I mean, we killed Peyton Manning in the playoffs 41-3, and then he came back and killed us in the AFC Championship. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah. I mean, you talking facts. You talking straight facts, man. Listen, this has been a call from you, man. Give him a hand. Give him a hand, Outside of those Knicks tapes, man, this has been a great call from you, and I completely
no more Knicks tapes. No more Knicks tapes.
Thank God.
Everybody in the chat is going to be killing me.
Thank you. Well, listen,
you started it, not me. I was coming on here. I was going to hit you with a little year, and that's it. You had to go with all this Knicks stuff. I'm off the Knicks. It's baseball season. I'm suffering through the Yankees right now.
Man, come on, man. I didn't start nothing. You started that with me. It's been consistent. You start the problem with me. You want to talk about the Lakers? Hey, I'll talk.
What more do you want from me?
I don't know what you want from me, but I'll give it to you. You talk about my Lakers, I'll talk about the Knicks. So listen, Donovan, I got to get back to these lines. You have yourself a good night, man.
All right, Joe. Have a good night.
Have a good one. Hey, listen, salute to everybody. Salute to Donovan. You call in, you know what I'm saying? You try to come at my Lakers, I'm gonna dip that jab, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give it right back to you. I respect everybody. Don't you talk about my Lakers. Don't you talk bad about them. You know what I'm saying? You talk bad about the Lakers.
You're smoking crack. Stop.
Yeah. You got to stop. I got to stop you. But you know what I'm saying? You yur at me, I'll yur it back. You know what I'm saying? I'll yur it back, So we're going to keep getting to these lines. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We're talking Jets. We're talking everything, man. So we're going to keep going. Getting to my guy John next. We're coming directly to you. Carrie and Rusty, we see you. We'll get to you in a second. John, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, my man. John, give me your thoughts,
Joe,
man. We're talking CJ. I'm all right, man. How are you, my friend? It's good to speak with you. Give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man. There's a lot of people saying, hey, CJ, they're expecting big things from him this season. Do you expect the same?
Of course. I mean, CJ Mosely is a great player. I know his people like to talk about his contract situation. That's a whole other matter. That's something else. But if we're just talking about the player himself, I mean, this is a guy who made 4 Pro Bowls in his first 5 years back when he was with Baltimore. I mean, the guy's clearly he's an athletic freak at linebacker. He's really good. And especially in this defense, I mean, this is a point that I haven't heard a lot of people bring up, but in this defense, Robert Saleh, he runs a variation of the Seattle scheme. And so he comes from Gus Bradley, who was under Pete Carroll. And so in this defense, especially this defense compared to like the last 2 years, he's going to be in like that Bobby Wagner, free range, come up, play the run kind of role. And he's going to be this scheme is going to fit him perfectly. He was a really good player, and I know he hasn't played in a while, but the first year was due to injury, but last year it was because of opt-out. So it's not like he has more tread on his tires or anything. He got a nice long time to get his body back into shape. Maybe there's a little rust on on these wheels, but he should get the hang of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that, and again, even with, like you talked about the scheme that Salah's running, you look at, we're bringing in the 4-3 now. Of course, we changed over, but my big thing is when you look at what we have as far as coaching, I think that that's really going to help as well. Of course, CJ, just his talent overall. I think if you put him pretty much at any team, he's going to be successful. But when you've seen in the past, Salah has been able to get the best out of guys that were not as talented as CJ Mosely, nowhere near. And he's been able to put them in positions to where they can do, whatever their skill set is, that they can maximize on that skill set. And that's what I'm the most excited about, not just with CJ, but when you look at other guys, and again, Jeff Albridge as well, our defensive coordinator, he's a guy that can put things together too. But when I look around this defense, one of the guys that I'm extremely excited about is Gerard Davis, a guy that a lot of people talk about and say, hey, we haven't seen the best out of this kid yet. He still has more to give because he has not been utilized correctly. So when you look at the situation coming into this season, what are your expectations on Davis, and do you think we'll see this guy play at his highest potential under the New York Jets with his coaching staff?
I certainly hope he can. Gerard Davis was a guy, former first-round pick. He had good moments his rookie year. I know a lot of people like to just act like he was just flat out a bust. But his rookie year in 2017, he did produce well enough. It was once Matt Patricia came involved and changed his scheme that Gerard Davis slowly started losing playing time. And not to say that he was like this world beater his rookie year, but once the scheme change happened, he lost favor with coaches and eventually got benched. But the guy is athletic. He's rangy. He's able to play the pass well enough, especially. Is he going to be the weak side or Sam linebacker?
I think he's a Sam linebacker in our new team. I think that's where they have him right now. Yeah, I think that's where they have him right now. That's strong side backer right now. Yeah, because Cashman's the weak side.
Okay, all right. So then Gerard is going to be able to play that well. Rangy, like I said. He does struggle a little bit against the run, which is probably not what you want from a linebacker in the NFL, but, he is rangy and can make plays, especially in this defense. He's going to be, in this defense, Robert Saleh is going to get the best out of him, so I'm very excited for him.
Yeah. So my final question for you, John, man, you always bring in the fire, bro, is give me your thoughts about this situation with Marcus May, man. Like, how do you feel about his contract situation, and do you think the Jets will be able to get something done before the deadline?
So I'm going to say no on before the deadline because I feel as though if that were going to happen, it would have happened by now. But I do think he will get signed long term. And I'm probably the only person who's going to say this, but I personally feel like I would be totally willing to pay him the $14 million a year if that's what he wants. He's the best player on defense. He's the best player on the defense. He's a leader, and not only that, you've had to compare him to Jamal Adams. When Jamal was going crazy, crying all offseason, what was Marcus May doing? Putting his head down, just working. When we drafted Ashley Davis, and the Jets were talking about, maybe Marcus May became expendable, he didn't say anything. He was just quiet, working, proved that he was one of the better safeties, proved that he's a better safety than Jamal Adams. He's rangy. He's won several games for the Jets. You think about that Rams game. I know that Seattle game was really bad, but you saw how he played DK Metcalf, one of the best, receivers in the league. I think he's totally worth it. I think he's completely worth it, and you don't have many other players to play. Make a statement with them. Say, hey, we're going to take care of you. My dog's going off in the background. I'm sorry, you hear that?
Yeah, he's a big Marcus May fan. I can tell. He's a big Marcus May fan as well. I heard it. I heard Marcus May. Give him a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard. Salutes to that dog. Salutes to him. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to him. I respect that. That dog went off. You talk about Marcus May.
Here we go.
Yeah, I like that dog. I like what he brings to the table. Yeah, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead and finish your thought. Your dog has to jump in. Tell him to call in. I want to talk to him too. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, Marcus May. Who else are you playing, man? Who else are you paying? Go for it. Make him one of the first re-signed Jets players in a while, and he's team captain, isn't he?
Yeah, he's team captain as well.
Okay, there you go. And I also remember when they gave up that terrible last-minute touchdown to the Raiders. Marcus May came out and he was defending his guys. Lamar Jackson was the one I think who gave up the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
And he was like,
he
Greg,
did.
you have to help us out. This isn't, and everyone respected him. So I would totally do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, John, this is a call from you. Give him a hand, studio audience. Give us a hand. Yeah. Give him a hand. Listen, John, it was phenomenal to speak to you tonight, man. I got to get back to these lines. These lines are hot, but thank you, man. And again, I'll respond to you, my friend. I saw you. I responded. So, we'll go back and forth on that other thing. But salute to you.
No problem.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
You have yourself a good night, my friend.
You too. Take care.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, John calling in. Listen, I'll take all callers. If your dog wants to call in, tell him to call in. You know what I'm saying? Tell your dog to call in. I'll talk to his dog as well. Anybody that's fired up about the Jets, I want to hear about it. So we're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. We are taking all callers. We're going to get to everybody. Please be patient. We're going to keep going. I think we'll go on to Carrio next. This is my guy, Carrio, man. We're going to speak to him in just a second. We're going to be talking to him. Listen, Carrio, I want to thank you for calling in. I'm hoping I'm saying your name correctly. Salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man. How are you feeling about him, and what are your thoughts about what he's going to bring to the Jets this season?
Joe, is that me?
Yes, this is
Hello?
you. 516?
Yeah, 516. It's Kieran.
Oh, Kieran. I'm sorry. Kieran, I apologize for mispronouncing that. So, Kieran,
no, not
give
at
me
all.
your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man.
All right, so I think CJ's I think he'll have a pretty good year. I think that the defense doesn't exactly fit him extremely well. I think it fits him well, but it's not perfect because he's not that fast. He
okay.
Solid needs solid. The defense that Seattle and San Francisco run. I mean, they have a little smaller linebackers that are a little faster, right? But CJ packs a lot, right? And he's smart, so he should pick up the defense well. Now, my personal opinion is that when Saleh says, and I was thinking about this before, is that when he said, we're trying to get our players paid, he was talking to Fred Warner, because I think Fred Warner is his guy, and Fred Warner hasn't signed his contract or hasn't signed an extension for the 49ers, and I think that's the guy they want. Right, as he wants. I don't know if he's going to get him because maybe the 49ers will pay him, but he's also from BYU, so they got a BYU quarterback, right? He's a smart dude. He's like top 20 player in the league, and he runs that defense. So ultimately, if they're going to try to tread along this year, teach everybody what they need to be taught, and hopefully get better. That's what I think. Maybe next year or by trade or somehow. That's the guy that they really want. And if it works out with CJ, which it could, right? It could, definitely, because he's worth a lot. You got to pay him a lot of money still. So how are you going to trade his contract or get rid of him? You're going to probably if he's really good, then he's going to stick with him. So.
Okay.
But
okay.
It's
maybe
tough. It's tough for them.
Yeah. Maybe he's looking for a guy, but when he talked about making sure the guys get paid, especially when you look at this situation here, one of the guys that he spoke on, wanting to make sure that the deal was getting done, and he was excited to, hopefully see the Jets, be able to bring this guy back, was Marcus May. He spoke on that situation quite a bit, that the Jets are actively trying to make sure that he's brought back into the fold, and I want to get your thoughts on that as well. What are your thoughts about this situation with Marcus May? Do you think they get a deal done before July 15th, and if so, how much do you think they end up, signing him for per year? Do you think he'll get the $14 million that he reportedly is looking for per season?
No, I don't think he's getting that, because
okay.
There's a little back and forth between Jamal getting what he's going to get, and then Marcus getting what he's going to get. So if Marcus gets what he's going to get, then Jamal's going to get what he is going to get. I don't think that Marcus is going to get 14 from anybody. I think he's worth like 12-2. Something like that, and if they can get him to sign like a 4-year deal with good upfront money, guaranteed, big guarantee, but he's getting paid like $12.5 million, I think that's what he's worth. I think that's what he should get paid. I mean, that's what the Jets wanted to pay. Maybe he deserves more, but that's probably what he that they want. And I don't know if
Look,
I don't think they're going to go any further than that. If he doesn't want to sign, he's going to take it, and then he's going to be a free agent too. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I respect it. I respect your takes there. Again, listen, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. It was great to speak to you, my friend. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in. We are talking Jets. We are talking CJ Mosely. We're talking Marcus May. We're talking about it all. So next, I'm going to my guy, Rusty, man. My guy, Rusty, is on the line. I know he's going to bring the fire. Rusty, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in. Give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man. What are your expectations out of him coming into this season?
How's it going, Joe?
How's it going, my man?
And, it's going all right. Islanders just got out of the cup, but after that, it's all good. Now it's all Jets all the way. So let's focus on that. But,
hey, man, I got Knicks fans calling in. I don't want no smoke with the Islanders fans. I'm not a big hockey guy. I salute to y'all. I wish y'all nothing but the best, in the future. But, I got Knicks fans on me already. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting already with somebody. I don't want no problem.
You don't need it from the frozen pond, so.
Oh, man, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? But give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, Rusty. How are you feeling about it, man, going into the season?
I love CJ Mosely. I mean, he's a dominating linebacker. I mean, proof is in the pudding. He single-handedly nearly beat Buffalo 3 quarters, and then, his groin injury and everything, which sucked, obviously. Prior to that, the guy was all over the field with Baltimore. He's like a Tasmanian devil, You just let him go. He does whatever he has to do. And then you put him in with Salah, and they're hungry for it. He knows Salah, obviously. Salah has a great reputation throughout the NFL. And now he's hungry, chomping at the bit for it, and he's healthy because, what he got with that groin injury, that was a pretty bad one. I think he tore off bone, and, it was bad. It was brutal. So for him to get back, and he's running around like a maniac like he usually did, and it's good that he came back, within the first with everybody when he didn't even have to. So I think he wants to kill it, and that's great.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll turn it around this year. I'm hoping that, that hamstring injury, everything stays straight and good. We all know hamstrings, things can linger, but supposedly everything's good. He's fully healthy. We saw him come back later on that season, and I think that might have even re-aggravated it, made it possibly worse because we saw he was hobbling around. He did not look like himself. He was things just weren't good. I don't think he should have been playing in that game.
That's when he tore it off the bone.
Oh, yeah.
That's when and then that's when they're like, all right, you're going into surgery, and then COVID happened around March. So
that's
what that happened.
I mean, that was bad. But I'm hoping that this year, and I'm expecting him to turn it around this year, because even if you hear things that's coming from him, he's really, really fired up about this season. He's talked about hearing everything that everybody is saying, and making it a point. Look, I'm gonna go out there and just prove everybody wrong. I'm going to go out there and show.
Oh, I'm glad, because I was one of those dudes, too. I was like, I'm going to – I hope the Jets work you like a dog, man, earn that contract. So I'm one of those guys, and I love them, so get that fire and come at me with it. It'd be great,
Yeah, you want
we're hoping
alone,
for.
Rusty. Let me tell you something. You're not alone, Rusty, let me tell you, because, I've been running the show for a minute, and there were people calling in talking about we should trade him this offseason.
I wasn't saying that, but I was saying definitely giddy up, and you better do some stuff.
You can go back and listen to my past shows. There were people calling in and saying we should trade him. There were people calling in and saying we should move on from him, just release him, all kinds of things like that. But I want to see what he does this season. But my big question for you, Rusty, is you look at that weak side linebacker position in this 4-3, it's Cashman. I like Cashman. He's shown ability, but he has a long injury history, man. Are you concerned about that continuing going into this season?
Yeah, he gets nicked, But I love Cashman, he's awesome. It's unfortunate that he gets nicked up and stuff, but hopefully with the new implemental plans that they have for, our doctor program and all that, they can get some of those bugs out or, assess it quicker, do what they got to do so it's not as severe or serious, or he could play with it, it doesn't affect him to the ability where it, it would really, really, truly affect him.
Yeah.
But and I'm happy we got some of those guys and that dude from Detroit.
Yeah, so when you were talking about it, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about as well, so my final question for you is, you talked about Cashman. He does get nicked up a bit. He does miss a lot of time. could you see some of the young guys that we drafted possibly take that spot from him? Guys like Hamza Naruddin or Sherwood. Could you see any of these guys, in this other within this linebacking depth core, be able to step up and take that spot from him, whether he get injured or just take it from him, in training camp or in preseason? Could you see one of these young guys starting over him?
Yeah, my man, the Dean Amin Nazuddin. I love that guy. That guy's a maniac, and it's great. Okay. He just lays the wood, and he's athletic. I think he is the one that would do it if it was going to be our rookie coming in, any one of our rookie guys. That guy's lights out.
Yeah, and he's a great tackler as well.
Definitely lights out.
That's one of the big things about him. So, yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of people are sleeping on some of these young guys we brought in, especially, because they'll be kind of transferring from roles. Nassruddin, they have a history of safety and things like that. But, again, in Sulla's scheme, he's utilized a lot of those guys, a lot of guys that are tweeners, a lot of guys that are hybrid players. He's been able to utilize those guys in the scheme at different positions. What he calls them, a hit-and-run linebacker, stuff like that. Guys can move, guys that are athletic. He'll put you somewhere within the scheme, and I'm telling you, you'll definitely put things together, and you'll be able to produce there. So, listen, Rusty, I got to get back to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. It was great to speak to you. You have a good night, my friend.
You too, Joe. It's great speaking to you, man.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Rusty calling in with the fire. We're going to keep going to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Please call in. Everyone be patient. We're getting to everybody tonight. We're going to keep getting to these lines. A salute to all the savages in the chat, man. I just want to give everybody in the chat a big salute, man. A big salute, man. Straight savage, man. I absolutely love the savages in the chat. Salute to everybody, continuously going off. We'll come to you later on in the show. But again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next call I'm going to 848-848. You look like a new caller. Give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely.
So my name is Max from home, New Jersey, and I think CJ Mosely should be traded. I don't know. I just feel like he's so washed. He played 2 games as a Jet. That it was just such a waste of money. I don't know why the Jets paid him that much huge money when he's been not on the field for 2 years. Yeah, I think he might do good this season, but I think the Jets should release him after this season. I think his contract's too big.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I've had Jets fans as well in the past call in and say the exact same thing. They were saying, hey, we paid this guy a ton of money. He has not played. He's played 2 games in 2 seasons. We're upset about the situation, upset about what he's bringing. But I'll tell you this. In this new scheme with this new coaching staff, and especially with Mosley's talent, if he's fully healthy, I expect him to really put things together. And if he does, if he comes out and looks like the CJ Mosely that we saw against the Bills, this defense is going to be unbelievable. Especially with the other pieces that we have, a great pass rush, our defensive front really getting after people, and then Mosley able to be out there in coverage, and sometimes not in coverage, they'll probably send him as well. This defense is going to be phenomenal. So I understand where you're coming from, but could you see CJ Mosely turning it around, especially if he's fully healthy this season?
I think it might turn around because he's been, pretty good. I'm just saying I'm concerned about the injuries. If he gets injured again, oopsies, it'll probably be a waste of a contract. But if he plays really good, I would like the Jets to respond if he actually plays really good, if he makes their defense really good.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the other linebackers as well in this system, too. I know, your feelings about C.J. Mosley, but what are your thoughts about Gerard Davis? Because there's people that look at the situation with Gerard Davis and they're feeling like they'll get the most out of him going into this season because our coaching staff is very, very good and going to be able to coach him well. How do you feel about that?
I think he's good because, he was under Matt Patricia. I think he was a very bad coach. He'd never used Gerard Davis' strengths, but I think that with Robert Saleh, he was able to make Gerard Davis a good player.
Mhm. Yeah, listen, I respect that. I think that I think Gerard Davis, if utilized correctly, and I think he will be, the things that I've seen Sulla do, again, I've been forced to watch the Niners. The things that I've seen Sulla do with guys that people, kind of cast it off and said, hey, would never really be good, I saw him really be able to put those guys in positions to make plays. And I think he'll be able to do the same thing out of Davis. I think we can expect, some solid production out of this guy. So, Maxwell, this has been a phenomenal call. But my last question for you, my friend, is what are your thoughts about, I'm going over to the offensive side of the ball. We talked a little bit earlier about Jets fans being patient with Zach Wilson. Do you believe that this fan base will be patient with him this upcoming season and just allow him to kind of go through the growing pains of being a young quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Zach Wilson's going to be a really good quarterback. He's going to be a lot better than Sam Darnold. I always wanted the Jets to draft Zach Wilson. Sam Darnold was just so bad last year. Like, even though he had Adam Gase, he was so bad throwing interceptions. No wonder why Sam Darnold got traded. But I think Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. Elijah Moore. I've been wanting Elijah Moore. I think he's a very good wide receiver in football. Corey Davis can be a good receiver. Even though I wanted the Jets to sign Julio Jones because he can be a solidified number one receiver, I think our wide receiver core is very good, and Zach Wilson's going to be good. I'm not saying, I'm going to be like Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be so good. But I'm not going to – I'm going to 20 passing touchdowns, 15 interceptions. That's my mark. I'm not trying to be like Herbert. I'm not trying to be like Mayfield. I'm not trying to be like Peyton Manning. I'm not trying to be high on him. So I have my expectations in check.
Yeah, I respect that. Listen, Max, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. I'm going to let you go, man, because we got a lot of callers on the line. But next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my friend, all right?
Okay.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, we got new callers coming in. Again, I want to thank everybody that finds the program, calls in. You know, I love talking to everybody, especially new people that find the show. Please call in. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Please call in. Again, when you call in, do not curse. Do not curse on my show. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that. I'll get you out of here fast. Faster than we got Adam Gase. It was fast, man. That was a long 2 years, but we got his ass out of here as quickly as possible. And I couldn't be happier. You know what I'm saying? And again, everyone, if you want to hit my super chat, please do. My super chat's right there. If you don't want to hit me in the super chat, you rather hit me in Cash App, please hit me in the Cash App. It's right at the bottom of the screen. All donations are appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Everything's free, but all donations are appreciated. I have a lot of people that, talk to me about those different things. And again, salute to all the savages in the chat. They're going off. You know what I'm saying? They're going off. But we're going to continue on with the show. We're going to get back to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy. I think this is my guy, Mac. Mac, I think this is you. Salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Mac. Mac, listen, give me your thoughts about CJ Mosely, man. How are you feeling about him going into this season?
Joe, it's good to talk to you again. I know we only spoke on Friday, but I heard you talking to CJ Mosely, and I had to give you a call, man.
Give me your thoughts,
every
Mac.
Dollar,
you already know.
Every dollar we have wasted on CJ Mosely has been absolutely worth it, because him getting hurt helped us get rid of Adam Gase a year or two earlier than we might have.
Well,
because we were going to win that game, Joe. We were going to win that game in Buffalo. Other than a great starting quarterback go out, I have never seen a team look so 100% different than I did after C.J. Mosley went out of that game. He is a stud. I don't care he didn't play last year. I was mad at the time, but it just dawned on me. He did us a great favor, Joe.
Mac is crazy. Listen, Mac. I look at the situation like this.
Here we go.
I look at the situation like this, all right? Look, CJ went down with an injury. I think that we probably would have gotten rid of Adam Gase because I don't give a damn who you would have had on defense. The fact that our offense was as bad as it was that season, and even, the following season, it was even worse than it was the season before. Dude, he was gone. He was on his way out. The only thing that would have saved him was the idiocy of Chris Johnson and his inability to be able to say, look, I was wrong. Everybody else was right, because I'm telling you, most Jets fans from day one were like, yo, this is a bad idea. I was screaming that from the mountaintop. This was the worst idea that the Jets could have ever had, bringing Adam Gase in here. So, it was, to me, it's unfortunate that CJ went down, because what it did was it created a lot of doubt, particularly within the fan base. There was a lot of people saying, hey, we paid this guy, a lot of money, and we haven't seen him do anything, especially when he opted out the next season, which, again, I've never knocked him for. Players had to do what they had to do for them and their families. Completely understand. But the main sticking point for everybody was 2-2. 2 games, 2 years. That's all we've seen. for a guy that we paid out of the the boatload for. That should not have happened, and people have been screaming from the mountaintops to get rid of him. I've been hearing people talking about trading him and all kinds of things, but the big thing going into this year is this. He seems to be ready, completely healthy. He's refreshed. He's talked about having that chip on his shoulder. We all know how motivating for players doubt is. When people doubt them or people doubt their abilities or people, doubt what they could do out there in the field, for a lot of players, that gives them that extra drive to go out there and really stick it to people and perform at the highest level that, they probably performed in their entire career. So Mosley has all that, and on top of it, he has a great coaching staff with Sulla and Jeff Aldridge and these guys, defensively that are going to understand what he brings to the table and understand how to utilize him correctly. So I understand, you have your way of looking at it, Mac, but I'm excited about CJ Mosely this season and what he's going to bring to the table. And so that brings me to my next point for you, Mac. My next question is this, man. We understand, CJ, you're excited about him going into the season. I am as well. What are your thoughts about these other linebacker positions, though? I look at the situation with a guy like Cashman that everybody just kind of is ho-humming about, like, okay, yeah, he's going to be the guy that's going to start, but he never really plays. He's often injured. He was injured a lot in college as well. That was one of the issues with us drafting him. One of the things that I hit Mike McCagnon on was, hey, this guy missed a lot of time. He had shoulder injuries, all kinds of things. Do you think that this injury history will continue to follow him into this season? And if so, which one of these young linebackers do you think will be able to step up and take the reins if he does miss time?
Hey, Joe, let's not call him Blake Cashman. Let's call him Broke Cashman, okay? He's never on the field.
Oh, no.
Come on, Mac. You ain't got to call him.
No, he's talented, but he's always hurt, Joe. I mean, you know this to be true.
Yeah.
What I think, we got a stud defensive line. It's going to be very good, and I really want you to watch this kid from Arkansas. He's not going to be in main rotation to start. The 6th-round kid we got from Arkansas was the only Arkansas kid drafted in the whole NFL draft. That's still an SEC team, Joe, with a lot of homegrown talent. But back to your question, and I'll let somebody else get on. We drafted all these hybrid outside guys. We're going to have a good defensive line. Hopefully, dear God, Mosley in the middle, who in half a game showed me what both a leader and a playmaker he is.
Yep.
And we're going to put these hybrid guys on the outside because, let's face it, in the NFL today, you got to be able to cover tight ends and running backs, or you're going to get ate up real quick.
Yeah, and that's a big thing as well, and that's why I wanted to talk about the linebacking core tonight, because like you said as well, listen, if you can't cover running backs coming out of the backfield, or you can't cover tight ends, which we historically, if you go back, we've struggled. Last season we struggled. Seasons past we struggled to cover running backs coming out the backfield as well, pass catchers, stuff like that, then you're going to get cooked in the NFL. You're completely right there, Mac. But listen, Mac, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Great call. You brought the fire, man. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
Take care, Joe.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Matt calling in. Salutes to Matt. Oh, man, what a night, man. Lots of laughs. What's the crazy stuff going on, man? Look, I'm telling you, I'm extremely excited. Again, this linebacking core, we'll see how things, pan out. There's so many questions to be asked. Like I said, we talked a lot tonight about CJ Mosely. We talked about Cashman, the weak side stuff. But I think that there's some younger guys we talked about tonight, too. Hamza Narzaldine, a guy that I'm extremely excited about, a hybrid guy that a lot of people, when he was drafted, a lot of people were saying, what could be done with him, going into this scheme? How could Sulla utilize him? Again, with Sherwood as well. Same questions, guys that are moving from one position over to the backer position. I think I'm telling you, those guys are going to be able to make plays, especially if Cashman goes down. And with all due respect to him, that probably is likely. because we've seen him have a lot of injury history, a lot of injury issues, since he's been drafted. He's missed time every season. We've seen it. So lots to talk about, man. Gerard Davis as well. Gerard Davis is a guy that I'm looking to see what he does too. A lot of people saying, hey, he hasn't been utilized correctly yet within his NFL career. He's coming here. He will be utilized correctly within this scheme, I'll tell you that. And I'm hyped to see what we do with Marcus May as well, man. This is a guy I really, really, really want us to sign and, keep into the fold. Keep him here, man. We got to do what we can. I don't want to give him a blank check. I want to be very clear about that. Don't be tweeting me saying, oh, Joe, you think we should give him $20 million a season? I didn't say that. But I did say we should work out a solid deal that works for him but works for the team and keeps us, in position to keep a team leader, keep a guy that's playing at a high level as well. Not just a guy, that's great for the locker room, but the guy that's great for the team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. Salutes to everybody. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also leaving some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's YoungJ000. All right, go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will troll you right back, all right? I will be right under that bridge with my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, I'll have that Vera Tucker jersey on, all right? So you want to troll me? No issues. We'll go back and forth. You can also follow the show's page on Twitter as well at The Long Beach Joe. The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, all right? That's the show's page. We go back and forth all the time on there. We talk football. We talk all that stuff. I'm also on YouTube as well at Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. That's where you can catch the live broadcast of the show. You can catch the live stream. We have a good time on there as well. We also game, too. We play all kinds of games. Resident Evil, NBA 2K, Street Fighter, all kinds of stuff. We have a lot of good, fun, and we really kick it. And, again, there's Jets content up there as well. I make videos. We also do the live stream there, too, of the show, and we have a blast. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, follow the show, subscribe, turn your notifications on as well. Thumbs up all my videos. If you want to troll me in the comments, we can go back and forth on there as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, all right, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone that will cost you absolutely nothing, all right? No matter what anybody tells you, the hugs will always remain free. I want to thank Bob Gage for coming on tonight from the OC Jets Fans Club. Anyone that's out there in Orange County visiting on business, anything, hit up the Orange County Jets Fan Club. Get in contact with Bob Gage and just have a good time with them out there, man. Go out there and enjoy yourselves with your brothers and sisters in green. So I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. You folks have a good one. Peace.